Hello and welcome to our Training Tuesday. This is part 2 of our top marketing tips, and today we are focused on business networking. So, first of all, what is business networking? It is when you engage with other businesses with a purpose of growing your own business effectively. Now, it might be that you just want to meet other people. It might be you want to actually get business from them. It might be you're looking to set up collaborations. You might be wanting to just get support or training. There's so many different reasons. Business networking is one of the, I love it. Do you know what? Don't get me wrong. When you walk into a networking event, it's still nerve-wracking. Sometimes the easy option is to go with somebody you know. However, you tend to end up staying with them and not networking if you are nervous. So I completely get networking can be such a scary, scary thing to delve into, especially when you're new to it. So some of the reasons why, first of all, because people sell and people buy from people. So at the end of the day, if you were to go onto LinkedIn and there is no profile picture, you're unlikely to build trust in that person because they're faceless. You don't know them. So you're not going to buy from them. Same way as you have to walk into a networking event and you had a balaclava on, that would be freaky to have whole other connotations. However, you're not going to build a relationship with that person, therefore you're not going to be able to sell to them, you're not going to buy from them. So people buy from people, and you need to build those relationships in order to get those sales and to get the recommendations, the word of mouth. Now, I don't agree in going to networking events to sell, but the whole purpose of a networking event is to build your network so that other people are helping to do that work for you, so that you're the go-to person. So you are building future sales by networking. You meet such a wide scope of people at networking events that you may not otherwise meet. So without doubt, every networking event I go to, I'll see some regular faces, which is lovely, nice to catch up with people. But you'll always meet other new people as well. And sometimes you'll meet them from just the strangest backgrounds, and their companies or things you may not have come across. You might not know that they exist. So it is fascinating to find out about new things that are out there. You can learn about potential collaborations that you may never thought of as well. So again, by meeting new people and having further discussions with people you already know, the more time you spend building that relationship, somebody else might just have an idea, or somebody might say, actually, I'm looking for somebody that does this to collaborate with. So you may be able to find just the right person or a new idea or a new spark of enthusiasm at networking events. So yeah, and then there's leads, there's opportunities, and the knowledge that you get from networking is so important. Learn new trends and industries and insights that you may not have known. So we all know who our clientele is. However, we all know things change. So you may have potential other clienteles out there and other industries that you can work with that you might just not be aware of. Whereas if you come across people within those industries at networking events and they say to you, actually, this has changed or that's changed, or we're working on this project, or we're going down that line, then that opens up a door for you to be able to go, well, actually, that might work for me, or I could help you with that, or actually we could collaborate on that. So learning those insights and trends in new industries will allow you to then potentially build your business into new avenues as well. Allows you to connect with leaders and those who inspire you. So to have people inspiring you and to be connected with leaders in their fields, in your field, is brilliant. You know, I just believe that competition is a good thing. It makes us work harder and be more efficient and stay on the ball. However, competition can also, it has negative connotations sometimes. But actually, if you can find somebody that's a leader in your field, then you can be inspired by them. They become a mentor to you. It doesn't matter that they're further ahead. That could be a massive benefit. And actually, to meet people who inspire you, even if it's got nothing to do with what you do in your business, or you're not going to see them again, to be inspired by somebody gives you that rush of energy and enthusiasm to push your business forward too. And I very rarely will I go to an event that I don't meet someone and go, I loved what they were saying, or they were really interesting, or actually cannot wait to get back and start on XYZ. And we need that, because when we sit, I mean, this little office that I'm in, when we sit in here every day ourselves, you don't get that. You start to lose it. So it's really important to go and meet new people for that reason too. Your community. So build a network of business friends. So this has got so many good benefits to it. So one is it increases the word of mouth recommendations. When somebody's got to know you, they trust you, they will then go and recommend you when somebody that they know is asking for a skill that you can offer. But also takes the fear away a little bit. You know, see to have other people that is your business buddies, your connections, your business community, then you realize that you're not on your own. The issues that you're having, the ups and downs, the roller coaster that we all do. And to have that there is brilliant, because let's be honest, how many people could honestly say their biggest support and advice comes from their family? Don't get me wrong, my family support, my parents support what I do. Can they give some advice? Some advice. But are they the ones I would go to on a day-to-day basis for help, for reassurance, for contacts? No, I've got my business buddies, my community that I go to for that. People that are within and outside of my industry, but know me and know what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve, and they can give me honest advice as to where to go next. So I have built this group through business networking, through GGC and through other networks as well. I have multiple groups actually. And it's so important. It's so important, particularly for females in business. Brand awareness and being seen as a leader in your field. It takes a lot to go to a networking event. It takes a lot to walk into it. It's like going on stage to an extent, because anyone can ask you anything at any time and you need to come up with an answer. Now, it can be in the toilet, I'm out of here, but the fact is that you're there and you're open to talk to people. There's a lot of, you know, that subconscious sort of feeling in there that if you are there open to talk about your business, you are a woman who is running and owning your business, and you've walked into that room, they're just like, hats off. You know, everyone, if you walk into a networking event, you see all these people there, you're like, hats off for coming here. Hats off for getting out of your bed and coming to promote your business. So the more you do that, the more you're seen, the more your brand becomes known, and the more people you speak to, the more authority that you build within your industry, the more you're seen as a leader in your field. It's a good way, the more people you meet as well, as you start to understand different perspectives and things. Now, it's really important when you go to networking events to be able to listen. So you need to listen to what other people say. When you go to these events, there's going to be people you highly, highly disagree on. You don't agree on their opinions and things, you don't agree how they do things, and that's absolutely fine. You need to be able to listen to their point of view, ask them questions like they do to yourself about your views on things as well. That can be business, it can be personal, it can be anything. But actually, by being open and talking to these different people and learning different people's perspectives, it opens your mind and allows you to look at things a little bit differently, which is really important, because it comes back to that learning new trends and insights that you might just be missing a trick if you're closed off. It's very easy to be closed off if you stick within one group of people all the time. And finally, one of the reasons for networking, and hopefully this has persuaded you, there's millions of reasons to network, is it builds your confidence. So like I say, going to a networking event can be really scary, but actually the more you do it, the more you go, I can do this. It's still a bit scary, but I can do it. You learn to ask the right questions to people. It stops being quite so scary, and that is your confidence building. So, groups. There's so many networking groups in Glasgow. You get your BNIs. So your BNIs are really strict. They work so well for trades. They work well for businesses like photographers, social media, anyone that does something that a lot of people need. BNI works really well for because it works in a referral system. They are very strict in regards to being there at the right time, the number of times you go doing referrals. There's traffic lights and tick boxes and everything. It's quite expensive. But the people who it works for stay in it for years and years and years. You get a lot of female-only ones like GGC. You've got Scottish Women in Business. You've got Business Women Connections, Business Women Scotland. You've got all your regional ones. You've got Highland Business Women. You've got Oban Business Women. You've got the Outer Hebrides. You've got Shetland and Orkney. There is hundreds of female-only groups out there as well. And it's good to have a look and see the differences between them all and see which ones work for you. You've got a lot of niche ones as well, so only marketing and branding, the housing sector, you've got medical sector, you've got loads of really niche ones too. You've got webinars, you've got seminars, there's speed networking, there's meals where you have speakers. There's so many different networking events. And what I would do is suggest that you try some different ones and see which ones work for you. I try and get to at least once each of the different networking events so I can go, okay, does this work for me or not? Because I now know the types that work for me, types of people that go to different networking events, so I can make the most of my time. But you do have to, trial a few. It's like kiss a frog. So some things to make it easier for you. Tell the organizer what your key aims are and what you do so that they can help you. I've been organising networking events for about 10 years and I have never ever had an issue with people contacting me and saying, my first networking event, or I'm really nervous about networking. I will make a point of ensuring that introduced to somebody that I know what it is they're looking for, that I know what they do, so I can then introduce them to other people. So at least if they walk in, I can go, hello, this is so-and-so, they do this. What do you do? People that go to networking events regularly know how to create conversation and get conversation out of people. So if I, as an organizer, was told this person's really nervous, I'll put them with somebody who I can say to them, look, will you support this person? They're nervous. This is what they do. So do not be nervous about speaking to an event organizer, because they would much rather you came and they could help you, make it a positive experience, and you came back and you got something out of it. Start with speaker events or speed networking events. Reason being is speed networking is brilliant. And at first it sounds terrifying. Like we think of speed networking, think of speed dating and all the horror stories you hear. But speed networking is brilliant. You're only with someone for a really short space of time and it's very structured. So you're told what to do. You sit down here, you say X, Y, Z, you move on. You get through lots of people quickly. You don't have to fear of sitting down for 20 minutes with one person. You don't have to fear of standing about trying to make conversation or interrupting conversations. It's a really structured way of doing things. And same with speaker events. When you have a speaker event, it's really good because they will take up a chunk of the time. And if you are struggling for questions or to speak to people, then you can ask people in advance, what is, do you know much about this speaker? Have you seen them speak before? What you're looking forward to? And then afterwards, you can discuss points about what they've actually been talking about. Did it work for you? Did it inspire you, etc.? So actually, speaker events gives you a topic instantly to talk about with anybody, because that is a common denominator of that event, is that speaker for everybody. Everyone's come to see that speaker. Another wee hint is arrival time. So anyone that does a lot of networking or is a serial networker will hate me for saying this. However, this is designed at people who have not been to networking, are scared to go to networking and want to just start in the easiest, least scary way possible. So go to your event. If your event starts at 9 o'clock, with the main event starting at 9:30, but you've got that half-hour registration and chat, go at 9:15. Don't go at 9 o'clock, because there's nothing more awkward being the first person in there and you get stuck with somebody that you can't create a conversation with. We've all been there, even lots of us that do loads of networking. We've all been there where we're stuck with somebody and we're just like, there's lots of people within a room. You can then say, right, it's great to meet you. I'm going to go network. That's what we're here for. There's no one else in the room and you're in there early. That's very hard to do. Also, the scariest bit of networking tends to be that first walking into a room and finding someone to talk to. You don't want to spend your whole time having to do that. If you can walk into a room, you've already contacted the organizer, they say, like, grab yourself a coffee, this is so-and-so, have a chat, we'll be getting started soon. It's a much more comfortable introduction to an event. And then the more and more you do this and the more and more comfortable you get, you'll see the value in that networking time and you'll want to be there at the start. So for the serial networkers, don't shoot me down for that one. There was a bit of advice I was given about 18 years ago when I first went to networking events, and it made my life a lot easier right at the start. And another one is prep questions. So if you, there's nothing worse when you're put in front of someone and you don't know what to say. So prep questions in advance. Sounds dead simple, sounds a bit silly sometimes. Actually, what is it you want to say to them? What's your name? Dead simple. So what do you do? Are you based in the location you're in? Ask them about their customers, ask them what they're working on, ask them about their holidays. Do you know, it doesn't matter. But if you can prep questions in advance, now, yeah, you can do the generic, are you going on holiday and stuff like that, or you can really think about who's going to be at that event based on the speaker. What is it you're looking to get out of that event without selling to them? And then base your questions around that. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. If you've got questions and you can keep a conversation going, then that will take away all the fear. It also puts in the time, and you'll realize that these events speed by. So have a think about questions in advance that you can have ready to go, so that if you're in a spot and you're feeling nervous or you're getting a bit shaky, you can go, here's my questions. And you'll find that that will create a conversation and you probably won't have to use them all. But to have them ready means that it's taken away that fear. That is my top tips for business networking. Hopefully it has persuaded you that it is worth going to networking events. With a little bit of preparation, a little bit of research, then you will find the right one for you. There might be 2 or 3 that are good for you. If you want to go to a networking event, then give me a shout. If you want to go but you don't want to go yourself, I often do free tickets to networking events that I go to invite people along, just so you're not on your own. And what I'll always do is book you in, let you get in, get registered, go and have a chat. If you're struggling, come to me and I'll look after you. So I'm not there to babysit you, but I will help you if you are struggling. That is, I'll do that with multiple events. So yeah, if you fancy networking, but it gives you the fear, then come with me and we'll go along together. I can introduce you to people as well. So hopefully those networking tips were useful. I absolutely love networking. I still find it scary sometimes, particularly when I don't know anyone that's going to them. That little bit of fear doesn't always go away, but as soon as you learn the benefit of it, it stops being quite so scary. So again, if you need to get in touch, let me know. Otherwise, have a lovely day.